Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Housing and Real Property Subcommittee. We're going to be having two bills today that we're going to vote on, and those bills are HB 769 and HB 861. After we complete our vote on those two bills, we will then have a very brief discussion on HB 52 and HB 1312. Okay, and I see Bill is coming in now. And he's here. Welcome, Bill. So we're going to first off discuss HB 769, and HB 769 is about the Housing Opportunities Commission. And very simply, ladies and gentlemen, what this bill does is it recognizes that the Housing Opportunities Commission, which I believe is under Montgomery County DHCD, as a public body. And because they're recognized as a public body in HB 769, that then means that they have to operate under the Open Meetings Act. Matthew, you want to add something to that, please?
The only thing, that was a very complete explanation of it. The only thing I would add is that it would appear that this is clarifying language at this point. It's specific to the committees of the Housing Opportunities Commission. And yeah, just treat them as if they were, or it states that they are public bodies for the purpose of the Open Meetings Act.
Okay, Lehman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, could you just tell us, were there issues with this? Were there challenges where they were having meetings that were not treated as open meetings, or what prompted this?
I wasn't on the subcommittee that did this, but I think if this is the same bill, maybe it is. I think this may have been, hold on a second.
Delegate Carr. Delegate Carr put it in, as I believe. And I was on the Montgomery County delegation hearing when this bill was discussed, and it appeared as if there was some concerns about the Open Meetings Act with the Housing Opportunities Commission, which is why the bill was put in. I will say though, because I am very familiar with. I'm very familiar with the Housing Opportunities Commission.
Hey, yeah, they can't do it.
Did they not give you a chance?
No, they wanted.
Shirley, can you, thank you.
Get
it? And mute Celebrity too, please.
Just read it, just mute everyone.
Yeah, mute everyone. Yeah, thank you, Shirley.
Except for the chair.
Just mute all the Republicans.
Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman.
That's okay. I will say, in terms of the Housing Opportunities Commission, I have had the opportunity to work with the, I want to call him chair director of the Housing Opportunities Commission in Montgomery County. Very smart, intelligent guy, very smart guy. He is being courted by Prince George's County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, et cetera, to leave Montgomery County and come to those various jurisdictions. Very smart guy. And if we ever have an opportunity to steal him from Montgomery County DFH, please be aware I am going to do so. Got that? Good. So seeing no other questions, HB 769 is a bill that has one sentence in it, and it is as I and Matthew have described. There are no amendments to the bill. Do I have a motion?
Move favorable.
A second.
Second.
Great. Any additional discussions on HB 769? Hearing none. All in favor of HB 769 signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say no. Thank you, Delegate Parrott. And there's no opposition and no abstentions. HB 769 is favorable recommendation from the subcommittee.
And just to be clear, I'm a yes on that one.
Yes, DFH and Mary, please lower your hands.
Yes.
Let us now go to HB 861. As you recall, ladies and gentlemen, HB 861, we had a very robust discussion about this bill last week. HB 861 is a landlord-tenant bill, and it is referencing the reusable tenant screening reports. And if you recall from last week's meeting, we went through the bill line by line last week, just to be certain everyone was in agreement with the language that was in it. The only discussion or controversy on this particular bill was the last section in the bill, which was paragraph G, subsection G in the bill. And some members thought that that subsection G, as in girl, should be removed from the bill. The sponsor of the bill listened to our discussion last week. The sponsor of the bill has put forward an amendment to HB 861, and the sponsor of the bill is removing that section that was the total amount of debate in last week's bill. Let me go to Delegate Healy first. You're muted.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't mute myself, so I wasn't sure I could unmute. I just wanted to ask the advocates on that were opposed to the bill if these amendments take care of their concerns. And I particularly wanted to ask Mr. Castelli if he could just say what he thinks as he represents the realtors.
I don't know if, there he is, there's Bill. Yeah, Bill can address his concerns with the HB 861, and I do not believe that his concerns were addressed, but go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, our official position hasn't changed that much, although I would just mention that, this is not a huge priority for us. One of the issues that we had, and I do think the hearing actually clarified it, was that one of our property managers had actually been given a manufactured form, and that was what their concern was. So, but once we found out during the hearing that a lot of this is the landlord actually getting it directly from the credit reporting agency rather than, directly from the tenant, I think that does address their concern, a part of their concern. But, when I went back to them, they, this was, again, not a priority, but they didn't feel moved to change their position on it.
Anything else, Ann?
Were there other advocates that were opposed that have changed their minds? Or I know there were some that wanted amendments, and I think we took care of the amendments that they requested. But of those who were opposed, I wondered if these amendments and the discussion have changed the positions of anybody else. Is Mr. DePietro here?
Kathy, Aaron?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wiggins, there you are. I didn't see you there. Go ahead.
MMHA worked with the sponsor. We're good with it. We appreciate, since she'll probably be watching, we appreciate her working with us. I would note Mr. DePietro is in the waiting room. I don't think he's been let in yet.
Oh. Shirley, you just lost 50% of your salary.
Sorry, Shirley.
She doesn't see him, nor do I, quite frankly. I am co-host. I don't see him there either.
Hey, he may have the wrong link.
Right. Aaron, Mr. Greenfield?
No, I would just echo amendments, work closely with the sponsor, and very much appreciate her willingness to work with us. And I think it's in a good posture.
Great. Ms. Howard?
Yes, Mr. Chair, me too. How's that?
Yeah, perfect. I like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I recall from last week, we had already adopted all of the amendments from last week. The only amendment that we have not adopted is the amendment that was submitted by the sponsor of the bill to strike the language that we had discussions about. So if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen of the subcommittee, out on the amendment. There's a motion on the amendment. Is there a second on the amendment?
Second.
Any discussions on the amendment? Delegate Tarasa.
I'm sorry, I may have missed what you're saying about the amendment. Are we now voting on the one to take out G?
Yeah.
That is correct.
I could share my screen to show what the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would
let's
be
do that.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Matthew, why don't you do that? Yeah.
Sure, certainly.
Matthew and I had this discussion before we started this whole thing, and I just skipped right over it.
So just making sure I have the right document. Okay, so the amendment number is HB 0861-190718-1. I sent it at about a half hour before the meeting, and the only changes between this and the version you received last week is a change to reflect the removal of G from the purpose paragraph, a technical correction for the purpose from a drafting error. There was a dropped conjunction, so the and was added back in. It's my understanding that the advocates and the sponsor did intend for both reports to be required as part of a reusable tenant screening report. So in speaking with the drafter, and is the correct conjunction. And then you don't see G here, but that's because G was stricken. So this is how the bill would appear with all the other amendments minus that subsection G, if that were the will of the subcommittee.
So we have a motion and a second on the amendment that we're looking at now. Is there any additional discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The any abstentions? The ayes have it. On the bill as amendment, is there a motion?
Favorable.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the bill H61 as amended? Seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor of HB 861 as amended signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, say no. Mr. Parrott, very good. Is there any abstentions? HB 861 as amended will receive a favorable report from the subcommittee. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, all of you also received two other bills. The two other bills that you received were HB 52 and HB 1312. We are not the primary on either one of these bills. We are the alternative, and judiciary is the primary on these two.
I'm in a
bills.
subcommittee meeting right now.
Just early. All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right, so because we are not the primary on these bills, we're not the primary on these bills. We do have to vote on these bills anyway, however. Now, let me say this about that. Judiciary is going to be having their vote on both of these bills tonight, sometime after 7 p.m. All right. And because of that, we do not have in our possession the fully amended bills for either HB 52 or HB 1312. What I would like for us to do, ladies and gentlemen, is for us to look at and read these bills. As you can see, both have been heavily amended. And they have been heavily amended based upon discussions with a multitude of persons, including myself. For example, we had a meeting on last Friday, last Saturday, last Sunday, last Monday, yesterday as well on these two bills. So there have been a lot of discussions on these bills, also with the speaker and the speaker's staff being involved in the amendments that you see before you as well. So what I would like for you all to do is to look at these bills, HB 52 and HB 1312. And then we will come back tomorrow and we will have a discussion and vote on these two bills. Hopefully not too much of a lengthy discussion because you would have already read them by tomorrow and you would have understood the position that we're in after you read these two bills. Hint, hint, hint. And then after that, we can move on and get the bill out onto the floor as fast as possible. Some of you may know that this is part of the speaker's package, and these two bills are part of the speaker's package that she is desirous of having moved very, very quickly. With that, I'm going to yield to a question from my dear friend, Delegate Wells.
You try to butter me up, Delegate Holmes.
Absolutely.
I guess, well,
The question is, however, Delegate Wells, is it working?
it remains to be seen. My question is, because I have reviewed, obviously, being the bill sponsor, I have reviewed the amendment. And there is one thing I wanted to raise that I actually think is actually really, really important.
Okay.
But out of respect for your chairmanship, I can wait until tomorrow. But I do believe that it's something that might be good to consider now. And it may be just a technical error. So
Okay.
I will defer to you.
Why don't we do this? Why don't you shoot me a text message? I've got two more Zooms. My last Zoom is at 9 tonight. So we may have to have discussion after about 9:30,
Okay.
10 o'clock this evening.
All right.
Okay. Thanks so much. Delegate Terrassa?
Okay, just to clarify what we're going to be looking at, we're going to get the reprint version of what they're voting on, of what they voted on after they vote on it later this evening, and that's what we should look at, or?
No, well, it is my understanding that what is coming out of judiciary, if it is not exactly the same as this, it will be very, very close to what you have in front of you. That's why we gave it to you now, so you can start looking at it now and to get an idea of what the amendments have done to the bill. Because like I said, if what comes out of judiciary this evening, if it's not exactly the same as what you have in your hand, it's going to be very, 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 very close to it.
And to clarify, that's the version, like for 1312, it's the version from March 8th at 6:18.
That is correct.
Okay, and I assume whatever I have for the other one is.
The other one is March 8th at 6:41 p.m.
Just
Matthew.
Yes. Okay. So just to clarify, of course, judiciary has yet to vote on the bills. My understanding is that the copies you have received, the copies the subcommittee has received, are the bills which are being presented to the full judiciary committee for voting. Of course, at this point, there would be the possibility of amendments in the full judiciary committee. However, because of the substantial number of amendments, this is just to allow a chance for the subcommittee to take a look and become familiar with what has been done to date. I will be watching the judiciary committee's voting session tonight and receive a copy, and will point out any changes, any amendments, where any differences between what you received today and what ultimately is voted on by judiciary.
And you'll send those, you're going to send those tonight. Is that what you just said?
I will, if not tonight, they will be first thing in the morning. I will get them to you as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Let me go to Delegate Lehman and then to Delegate Healy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mickler or someone, can you please clarify how many of these housing bills that we're talking about were jointly referred? And as I understand it, sort of through the grapevine, there might be some bills that did not come through ENT that only went to judiciary. Sounds like might all be combined into one bill. And I heard that because one of my bills is involved in my failure to pay rent bill. So are we, what, can we be, I guess what I'm asking, are we talking about more than one bill that was jointly referred, but also could we be looking at a bill that comes back to us that's combining a bunch of bills, whether they were in ENT or not?
There are only two jointly assigned bills, and those are HBs 52 and 1312.
Well,
Okay.
there's also there's a couple of other jointly assigned bills, but they're with, one is with Ways and Means, one is with Economic Matters. But we don't know what the well, anyway, what we're trying to do right now is just take a look at these two bills, because this is what is, we have to move these bills very, very rapidly, which is why you have this in front of you right now. But these are the only two bills that are jointly assigned with judiciary.
And, okay, and in both, judiciary is primary, correct?
That is exactly correct.
Okay.
Delegate Healy and then Delegate Terrassa.
Thank you very much. I had to step away briefly on some Rules Committee business, and I missed some of the discussion. Was there an email with these bills as they stand right now?
Yes.
When and where did it come, and who did it come from?
It came from me. It was
Okay.
the email that included the original agenda for this meeting. So I believe that was around 10:30 in the morning, maybe 10:37, 10:39.
Okay.
Closer.
10:30 this morning
Yes.
from you.
Yes, and those
Okay.
copies of HBs 52 and 1312 were included in there.
Okay, I just wanted to be able to find it so that I could read them over before. And then what you send after the Judiciary Committee votes, whatever changes are, or will it be the full thing, the whole thing as it's been changed?
Well, the way I understand Matthew's intention is to highlight the differences between what you have now and what judiciary is voting on tonight.
Okay,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
fine. Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, after
Yes.
this meeting, you and I need to talk.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I used to hate it when people tell you, we need to talk.
but we do, we really need to talk.
Delegate Terrassa.
So I thought I understood Delegate Lehman's question differently, but maybe she had her question answered, but I thought she wasn't asking so much what other bills were duly assigned, but whether any bills that were singly assigned to a committee had been combined into this, like something that was only assigned to judiciary or only assigned to ENT had been folded into these duly assigned bills.
I will.
I was, thank you.
If that was the question, then I'm sorry for misunderstanding it.
Likewise.
I will take a look through the bills. I have notes on what the changes to the bills do. I will take a look and see if any of that was included in another bill and pulled in.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I apologize, Mary, also, I misunderstood your question totally.
Yeah, no, I didn't know how to ask it exactly right. I guess without getting into the weeds of the whole policy discussion around jurisdiction, I wondered if it became one sort of more omnibus bill, which is my understanding of at least 3 bills that could be combined in judiciary, was that if I guess at least, the ones I know about were just assigned to judiciary, but if the third one was one that was jointly assigned, how does that end up being the jurisdiction of both committees? Whether it is or not, I don't know. That's getting kind of in the weeds, I realize.
Sure.
Okay.
I will take a look through both bills and see if I see anything that would have been pulled in or not. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Right, likewise. I apologize, Mary. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no further questions, then we were, I think, Matthew, our assigned time for tomorrow, I think we have 12:30. Is that what we're doing, or we're?
It is 12:30. However, I will say I believe that time might be pushed back, especially if there's any sort of delay in voting in judiciary, and to give more time to put nice, comprehensive,
Right.
clean documents together. So 12:30 is the time that's on the schedule right now, but my
Right.
understanding is it likely be pushed back, and I will get you that information as soon as possible.
Thank you. When I was at the hearing for these two bills in judiciary, I logged off at 10:30 p.m. and they had still 2 or 3 bills to go after that. So who knows what they're going to be going through this evening. But
Right.
I'm glad I'm not in purgatory. I'm sorry,
About
judiciary.
12:30 was when it ended.
Oh, Delegate Healy.
I just want to say, I actually hope that it's a little bit delayed because Rules is going to have to meet at 12:15 tomorrow.
There
Oh, we
will-
are?
Yeah, so that's part of what I need to talk to you about this after this meeting.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, ladies
just-
and gentlemen, we will be in touch.
Thank you.
Just one point, there's no other subcommittees that are meeting tomorrow that have conflicting membership issues, so the meeting can be
Good.
moved back.
So we could actually meet tomorrow evening at about 9:30 p.m. And discuss these two bills, right? I see Shirley Hamilton is totally in agreement with that.
I mean, if we can entertain amendments, then, I'm all for it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we will
Thank you.
convene again tomorrow. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you.